Good morning, everyone. This is Mary. You are watching another little piece of my art, and I am back to do part 2 of my coloring book collection. I'm going to call this part Tattoos and Skulls, or something like that, probably. So let's see what we can get through in a decent amount of time, okay? Jump right in. So for the first one here, we have Just Add Color Tattoos. And this is a book by Barron's, or I think Barron's was actually a bookstore. If I'm thinking correctly, if I'm not, please let me know. But in here you will get, your standard tattoo designs like I showed you in the last video, which I will link my last video, part 1, into the comments, so that you can watch that one if you missed that one. What's nice about this book is these are perforated. So if you want to take these out and hang them or whatever you want to do with them, share them, you can do that. This is one I did with Crayola Twistables. The paper in this one is pretty nice. It's pretty thick. Not bad at all. I don't think I have attempted using markers in this one, though. I think it would probably be just fine. I did not color that one. I bought this book used. It was already done. You do get kind of some of this, though, like the ink transferring to the other side, but it comes right off with a pencil. And the images in here, just like with the other tattoo book that I showed you, are just really nice images. I like this book a lot. You have these big, full-size, just really gorgeous ones, and then you have some that are more along little doodly style, and you have a lot of these beautiful Day of the Dead type pictures, which you know is going to grab my attention. So yeah, I think you get a good idea of what's in here. Let me see if I've done that one. Any more? I have done that one. This one is just a, yeah, that one was with markers. What kind of markers? No, that one was with Crayola Twistables, just Twistables. This one I did with watercolor, and you can see a little bit of the warpage here, but not too bad. I mean, really, you could definitely use watercolors in here and be okay. Here's one I did with, looks like some watercolors and then maybe some gel pens. I'm not sure. This is the page I use for my testing. It's just the same pattern over and over, so I can go in here and see how colors blend or which colors I want to use. So that's very handy. Here's one I did with Crayola Twistable colored pencils. Here's one that I happen to be working on right now with regular Crayola pencils. And then there's one that I have done with watercolor pencils. So no bleed through and just really super bright. So there's that one. Just Add Color Tattoos. The next one I have is one of my favorite books in my collection. This is Color Odyssey, Creative Coloring Journey by Garber. The only thing about this book that is bad is the paper. Or maybe the construction of the book, but like the first day that I got it, the very first time I was applying pencil to the page, the binding like ripped open. So this one will give you like a huge selection of classical tattoo art. Chris Garber, if you don't know, was on the show Miami Ink. That's him right there. You might remember that show from back in the day. And these are all the designs that he has made, and you can get tattooed on you from Chris, if you should ever happen to be so lucky. So with this one, I usually do some watercolor first and then come back through. It's got some really beautiful designs in here, but you can see how it's, and you know what's weird? It's, the binding is sewn, it's a sewn binding, but the whole block is ripping away from the cover and pulling apart. So there's a problem with that. Here's a big one that I did with watercolor, and then I'm going back in and doing the sky there, or this part of the water, I don't know, with pencils. Here's one I started with watercolor and then started this part with pencils. Yeah, the paper is not very thick, and you see how, you know, it really kind of buckles and stuff. But I love the designs, and I want to complete this book. Yeah, here's the first page that I worked on, and I did like a layer of watercolor and then went back in with pencil, and as I said, that was the first page, and it started pulling away and pulling out right off the bat. So I don't know if every copy is that way, you know, if they're manufactured in different places and you can get a better one, but this is what's went on with mine. So some dolphins, but yeah, it's a gorgeous book. He has a couple more. I think there's an Animal Odyssey and Flash. Flash is a tattoo style. So if you like tattoos and if you like classic art, this would be a book that you might find yourself interested in, because the pictures in here are super, super pretty. Look at that one. Love it. Love it. Look at this owl. Yep, so I do plan to get the other ones eventually. I want to kind of try to get more done in this one before I before I get those, though. Look at that one. That's, I think, one of everyone's favorite pictures out of this book. So pretty. You know, if you do a night sky back there, and so that is Color Odyssey by Chris Garber. This book, you guys, when I saw this in Ollie's, I about had a coronary, $1.99. Yeah, I was all about that life. Excuse me. And then, of course, after I got it, because this is always what happens, on the way home, I was like, I should have got another copy of that. And my husband said, I told you. But I'm always trying to, like, be more, kind of cut back a bit on what I'm buying, because I don't like to have tons and tons of, I hate hoarding, and I don't like to have tons and tons of stuff. But yeah, this is really a really gorgeous book. This is by Thunder Bay Press, and the illustrator the illustrator of this book actually is the same person. No, I can't find it, of course. Wait a minute. Here we go. Okay. Moro Mazzara is the same person who has illustrated the Tolkien book. If I'm correct, I believe so. So yes, a wonderful, wonderful artist, Moro Mazzara. And there is where you can order this book, LunderbayBooks.com. Some more stuff there. But anyways, yes, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous coloring book. When you open it up, you have your flap here that you can color. And they're one-sided. So I did this page with highlighters, and then, you know, I'm going to start going back in with pencil. Each page is just like a different scene from Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. So I did that one. And then here's just like these little symbols. I forget what these are called. These here. Here's when I started. And what's nice, like I said, is with them being one-sided, you can do Sharpie. So I did a Sharpie background to make it nice and bright. And then I just never, because, you know, whips are a problem. They're a problem for me. I start things and don't finish them. And that's one of the things I want to do for, you know, my coloring New Year's resolutions. I want to try to complete my whips in 2020. So, excuse me, guys. Just not feeling too awful well today. I don't think I've had enough coffee yet. There's a really nice altar. So you just get lots of portraits of people in their Day of the Dead costumes and outfits. And this book is just, I mean, every time I look through it, I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. And I haven't had it that long, so I haven't done too much in there. Do you remember the movie Nacho Libre with Jack Black? Look at that one. This is, I think, my favorite picture in the book. Gorgeous. So yeah, if you enjoy skulls and Day of the Dead and that type of thing, this would be a book that you would definitely want to add to your collection. Beautiful. I have this one, Day of the Dead coloring book by McArdle. This is in the Designs Original series. I picked this one up at Ollie's for 99 cents, so you know, you can hardly refuse there. And you know how these books do. They have all their tips and stuff in the beginning, and your color wheels and coloring techniques, and some examples of finished pages. These are also one-sided, so yay for that if you like Sharpies and stuff. The pictures are a lot more simpler, and on the back they'll give you a quote. So if you want to just, you know, relax and do some general basic coloring, this would be a good one. I did her. I'm not very good with Sharpies, you guys, at all. I don't really like them, but I happen to have a lot of them because people gift them to me, so I try to use them when I can. And there you have skulls and just different Day of the Dead type of stuff. I did a background here, but did not come back in. Another whip. What can I say? Whips are the word. So yeah, just, you know, very basic. You could always add your own details, draw in what you want. There's no saying that you can't. You can. So there is that one, Day of the Dead. This next one I really, really love a lot. It was gifted to me last Christmas by my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. And this one is called Sugar Skull and Flowers, 30 stress-relieving skull and flowers designs. I think she must have got this on Amazon because, let's see where we're at. It's like this. It gives you like gives you like a you know, right here it says if you rate us on Amazon, and then there's a Facebook page and stuff. So I'm thinking that it's, you know, like a private artist, not a mass-produced type of book. The paper is very thin, but they're one-sided, so it says original adult coloring books. And then here's more stuff about that. So this one has some really beautiful designs. It has the sketchy look that I love so much. And then it'll have more of a open design to it. This one is neat because it has the constellations there. And then it has like there's some that are very doodly looking. But I like this because they're different. It's not something that you see in every Skull book or Day of the Dead book. So I did that one in some super bright gel pens. That one was really fun to do. You can probably see the gold. But you can tell here how thin the paper is because of the bleed through there. And what else? What else? I did this one and then my marker ran out. So it's 2 different colors of purple. So I'm going to have to go in there with pencil and fix him up, or her. I did this one, and what does this remind you guys of? This reminds me of, you know those stuffed monkeys with the symbols in their hands? Kind of freaky old toy. That's what that reminds me of. But I do like the colors that I picked for that one. And that one's neat. It's kind of like seashell looking. Or it is to me anyway. And then this one I did like in more of a feminine type of a color scheme. I love that one. He just looks like he's up to no good. This one is intense. I don't think I'll be going and doing all those little pieces there. That one is super cool. I love snakes. So yes, this is a very nice book. I was very happy to receive this for Christmas. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Kim. And then here's a really bright one that I did in Sharpie. And you can see I have the same problem every time. I can't see yellow, you guys. Just super hard for me to see. My eyes are pretty bad. And then I did that one. And then some metallic markers. So, you know, this is just a fun kind of thing to do. I remember sitting on the couch. We were watching something together, my hubby and I just had like a few markers that I chose and just colored it. Don't have to think about it. Don't have to shade. It's a good time. A good time, guys. So, there's that one. Sugar Skull and Flowers. And the last one is called The Coloring Book Project. This is a big book. It's a collection of by 100 artists from around the world, and there's over 200 pictures in this book, which is why I wanted it, because who doesn't like a lot of choices, right? And I think I told you when I had this book in one of my hauls that it is an expensive book. I found it for $8, but it was from a private seller on eBay. So here we go. This is made by Memento Publishing. Here is the ISBN and all that business. And then you have your introduction. I was looking to see. Oh, here we go. Here are all of the artists that are involved in the making of this book. And I am not going to read them off. I'm just going to hold this here so that you all can get a glimpse, okay? Every page is going to tell you who the artist is. And you'll see that artist repeated throughout the book. So, the problem is they are double-sided. And the paper is, I mean, it's not hideous. It's not as bad as the last one with the Amazon paper. But it's not great. So you're going to have to be careful with what you use if you get this book. Although, with having so many pictures in here, you know, if you have to sacrifice one side, you might not feel as bad. It also comes with a few, not that many, but a few of these puzzles. So, if you're on a long trip or something, you know, this might be a good one to take because you can color, and then you can also do a little bit of puzzles and crosswords. I don't think I have crosswords. It might be word searches also in here. But yeah, they have some really beautiful artwork in here. I mean, like I was saying with the last video, my husband and I, we just like to look at tattoo artwork. So for us, it's a win. Here you have like matching. You can color them and then do the puzzle part. And that's intense. So, okay, that is a lot of pictures to flip through. I'm going to try to speed that up a little bit. Here you have connect a line from one eye to the other. Whoever makes the line that completes a box. So the old game. So you get like you'll get like cartoony ones. You'll get the very classic looks. Here's a connect the dots. Like here's a very classic plain type of a tattoo, and then you'll get some really detailed ones as well, and you'll get more of a there's some that are more of like a futuristic type of a look. Here is how many words can you make using the letters in Lovecraft specimen. So here's a page that I did. I did these pistols using pencils. I think I colored a star in with super tips. But as I was saying, each picture has this frame around it. So